everyone. Isn't this an exciting happening? Please take your seats so we can begin. This is awesome. I'm Jane Plitt, and I'm the proud founder and board chair of the National Center of Women's Innovation. And this is our national launch. And we are joined by all of you who clearly are committed to our vision, believing that the time has finally come to recognize women innovators who have been ignored by history and to put them on the map. So let's hear it for that vision. And the other part of it is that we want that mainstream recognition to inspire young girls. And we are so thrilled that tonight we have three tables full of young girls who we hope will be inspired to consider innovative fields. And it is when we boldly came together, a group of committed men and women who formed the board of directors, there was no doubt that the prototype innovator had to be Dr. Gladys Brown West. So tonight, Dr. Gladys B. West is watching this event remotely, and I know that she joins me in wanting to thank and see the diversity of groups, individuals who have gathered here tonight. So what I would ask is that when I recognize your name or the group, that you stand, we all hold our applause, because ultimately, everyone, we are all gonna stand, and Dr. Gladys West can see us all. So I would like to first have the board of directors of the National Center of Women's Innovation stand and remain standing, because without you, none of this would have happened. And now I would ask that your families and spouses join you in standing, because without them and their support, this wouldn't have happened. So come on, I don't see my husband standing. Come on, everyone. Thank you. And as B.K. Fulton, who is clearly identifiable in his white, fantastic tuxedo jacket, always says it takes a village. And our village has a huge number of National Center of Women's Innovators, volunteers, honorary board, honorary gala committee, and I would ask them to also join in standing because these are the worker bees who have created this evening. And then, we're holding applause, folks. And then, I'd like to have Dr. Carolyn West Oglesby, Dr. West's daughter, and her family stand, because without her and their support, we would not be honoring Dr. West today. So Carolyn, would you please stand, and your family, so that we can all see you and your mom can see you. And then we would like to have our media luminaries, Deborah Roberts from ABC, now co-anchor of 2020, and please stand. And Jumi Alabanji from NBC4 anchor, please join us. And Dr. West's academic, she's an alumni of both Virginia State University, and I do see that we would like Dr. Abdullah and all of his leadership that are here tonight, as well as all alum, to please stand. And then we have Dr. Lance Collins from the he's the executive director of the Innovation Campus at Virginia Tech, where Dr. West got her PhD, and we're delighted that he is here. And all Hokies get up and stand. And then we have, this is an amazing diversity of people. We have all of the sponsors who have rallied around us with money, with support, with technical know-how. Please, would you stand, and your guests, please stand. We are ever grateful. And we have distinguished political leaders, State Senator Adam Eben, Vice Mayor Amy Jackson, City Councilwoman Aaliyah Gaskins, and City Councilman John Chapman. Would you stand? And we want the girls from the Washington School of Girls in Washington, D.C. to stand with their leadership, and the girls from Girls for a Change to please stand. And finally, all of you who believe that it is time to put her on the map, let us stand. Dr. West, we stand for you. And let's hear one round of applause for Dr. West, who we're honoring. Thank you so much. And now it is my extraordinary honor to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, the one and only B.K. Fulton. Now let me tell you about the role that B.K. has played for us. It was Dr. Sands from Virginia Tech who, when he heard the concept that I was promoting to him, he said, "Oh, you need to connect with one of our alum. He's been talking about this Dr. Gladys West, and I think he might be interested." So, being as shy as I am, I emailed the B.K. Fulton, and it was a Saturday, and I introduced the organization myself and said, you know, at some point I'd love to hear from you and we could discuss it. 5 minutes later, the man had responded and he said, "Let's chat right now." That's B.K. Fulton. He's a Renaissance man. He has 3 degrees, technical, business, and of course a law degree. And he applied that to be a Fortune 50 senior executive. And after his whirlwind business experience, he retired and didn't rest on his laurels, but has transformed his life to now being an award-winning author, I think of 16 books, a filmmaker, and a Broadway producer. And here's a tip, folks. If you can't get tickets to The Wiz at the National this weekend, it's going to Broadway in April, and we need to be there to support it. As busy as BK is with his multiple ventures and commitments, he has not missed a single board meeting, even when he's in the car. He's extraordinary, and it is so fitting that he was most recently recognized as a distinguished Virginian, as was his wife, Jackie Stone. So we have one powerful family here who continue to help guide us, connect us, and as BK loves to remind us, it takes a village, and we are so glad you're part of it. BK.
Wow, Jane, you are hired. Anytime I need an introduction, call Jane Plitt. How we doing, everybody? Now, I'm a humble person, so take that for what it's worth. I am honored to do this, and while Jane said I never missed a meeting, I might have come late a time or two. So Jane, thank you, I think, because this is not a paid gig, so I'm volunteering, but for the young people in the audience, this is what happens when you're late for a meeting or you miss something. You get volunteered, or as older folk like to say, voluntold. And so tonight I have been voluntold to this role, and I'm honored to do it. Honored to do it. I mean, yeah. To celebrate the woman who gave us GPS is pretty special. Now, I'm not going to get political up here, but I do have a point of view. And I was telling a group of young people, I was giving a lecture in New York on Monday, and I told them that about this event and why I was excited to do it. And they said, well, why do you have so much energy about it? And I said, because we know more about a voyager who was lost than a woman who makes sure we never get lost. And we've got to fix that. We've got to fix that. The other thing I'll say just off top is that I want to apologize to you if I say something crazy, if I get to laughing out loud at my own silly jokes. Forgive me, because as a child, I was often left unsupervised. Now back to the show. We're all here because of a few wonderful human beings, people that have become some of my favorite people in the world. And one of them in particular is Dr. Gladys Brown West, who gave us GPS. Let's hear it again for Gladys. I became so enamored with her story and what she contributed that now I just call my GPS system Gladys. I'm like, we're driving, what would Gladys say? What would Gladys, check with Gladys. So it is the Gladys positioning system as far as I'm concerned. GPS. More on that later, but for now, I have the pleasure of introducing a special group to perform a little bit for you as the Ritz team gets a delightful meal together. Alexandria musicians Robin and Vaughn Ambrose, founders of the Yellow Door Concert Series, are determined to bring the local community together through live music with their SJE Quartet. The Ambroses founded the Yellow Door Concert Series in 2018 after noticing a lack of opportunity for community members to experience the arts and music in Alexandria. They named the series after yellow doors in their home. Robin, a classical bass player, and Vaughn, a jazz saxophone player, began the predominantly jazz concert series by hosting their first concerts inside of their home in Alexandria. Ladies and gentlemen, the SJE Quartet. Thank you, SJE Quartet. Virginia is full of amazing talent. Let's give them another round of applause. All right, we're going to keep this thing moving. We now have some awards to give out. No checks for the voluntold, though. But we do have some fun folk to recognize before we get into the main event. To help me with this, I'd like to ask Junie Olabanji and Teresa Peterson to come forward. Both of these amazing women are sorority sisters of the mighty Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Jumi co-anchors NBC News 4 Today, the #1 morning news program in Washington, D.C., and she is also a Hokie like me. That means she went to Virginia Tech. And Teresa is a GE executive, our gala co-chair, and one of my fellow NCWI board members. Ladies, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Well, as you just heard, I am Teresa as well, proud members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I know I have some of my sisters in the room. If you could all stand so everyone can see you this evening, because I just want everyone to see how we are representing this evening. You look beautiful. And because we're about equity in the Divine Nine, everyone else from the Divine Nine, please stand up as well, because we want to recognize you. Thank you. Wonderful. Well, it is my honor to be with you this evening as we recognize a few amazing women who happen to be members of our sorority, and also celebrate the achievements of what we like to say, one of the precious pearls of our sorority this evening, the mother of GPS, as I like to call her, Gladys Brown West, who has been a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. She was initiated on the campus of Virginia State back in 1973. And we honor her this evening. Now, the National Center of Women's Innovations is thrilled to present 2 awards tonight to both the sorority and an individual who have played a critical role in making sure that Dr. Gladys Brown West gets the recognition that she deserves. That's right, we can clap for that. The first award this evening goes to Gwen James, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and a friend of Dr. Gladys West. In 2018, she learned about Dr. West's contributions to GPS, and she contacted her local paper and said, "This is a hidden story that needs to be told." It was that paper feature that ultimately led to Dr. West being inducted into the Air Force Pioneer Hall of Fame, where she received the Webby Lifetime Achievement Award for her development of satellite models. Miss Gwen James, we thank you for your initiative to put her on the map. The pun is intended there. And we award you with the Pioneer Recognition Award for Women in Innovation. Congratulations.
Good evening. When I embarked on this mission on behalf of Dr. West, my sole focus was to ensure that our local community knew that we had this amazing woman living among us and all of her accomplishments. It was unknown. But never underestimate the power of the press, because now she is an international superstar. And I am honored and I'm humbled to be considered the catalyst for putting her on the map. And Jane, I thank you and I thank the entire board for this honor. Now, before I take my seat, let me recognize the man who has been by my side for the last 51 years. I was only 2. This is my husband, RJ. And I am so pleased to have my 2 handsome sons join us today. That means so much to me. Torin and Teron. Again, thank you all so much for this recognition.
Next up, we would like to honor Ms. Danette Anthony Reed, International CEO and President of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a history maker in her own right. She is the first president in AKA history to be an engineer, and so it is fitting that she is with us this evening. Now, as you've already heard a little bit of this evening, Alpha Kappa Alpha has played a critical role in the lives of so many women of color since its inception in 1908. Dr. Gladys Brown West has treasured her lifelong support from the sorority and its leadership. NCWI also recognizes the support of the sorority and other women trailblazers in STEM, along with the AKA Youth Leadership and STEM programs, which will support young girls with science and leadership development. We thank you, Ms. Danette Anthony Reed, and the sorority for all of its efforts to put her on the map and award Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated with the Pioneer Recognition Award for Women in Innovation.
Good evening, and thank you to your founder and board chair, Jane Plitt, and the members of the board of the National Center of Women's Innovation for your warm and hospitable welcome and recognition of our sorority on the occasion of your inaugural Black Tie Gala, and to honor our very own trailblazing member, Dr. Gladys Brown West, during this gala. Thank you for honoring Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, our 355,000 members across the world, and me as the international president and CEO, representing our voices of service to all mankind. As the first engineer to lead our great sisterhood, I am deeply humbled and honored to share my own passion for your purpose, to bring the focus to the forgotten accomplishments of women innovators and use those accomplishments to inspire the next generation. I am proud to stand with you to accept on behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated the first NCWI Pioneering Recognition Award for Women's Innovation. I promise, we, as Alpha Kappa Alpha sisters, will continue our legacy to innovate, educate, and encourage others to achieve their dream, just like Dr. Gladys Brown West. Thank you again, NCWI, for honoring our sisterhood. Thank you.
Wow. Very, very well done. Congratulations to our award recipients. Are we having a good time? I didn't put this in the script, but I'm looking out at this beautiful audience and I feel inspired to share something. Folk who know me know that I am not shy. I'm humble. I prefer to be behind the scenes, but if I need to step forward, I step forward. And just look around for a moment. Look around this room. Every expression of God's creation is in this room. We do not get to do this at the Ritz, first class, world class, without a lot of good people from way back when to now acting in a way that is responsible, acting in a way that is kind, acting in a way that is loving. You see, ladies and gentlemen, freedom ain't free. Let me say that again in case somebody was sleeping. Freedom ain't free. And we get to do this. We get to do this because good people decided that this is the world that we should leave to our children and their children and their children. It's a lot of meanness in politics right now. I don't like it. It is not civil. It is not what we represent. It is not who we are supposed to be. So my prayer for each of you is that you love yourselves enough and love us all enough to give our dreams a chance. Okay. Now, with that said, I will go back to what they're not paying me to do and do this program. At each of your tables, there should be a brochure that will allow you to learn a little bit more about Dr. West. We have a Text to Give campaign that I'll talk about more later, but we're really trying to put her on the map with the special exhibit, and we want to get that done. It'll be a traveling exhibit, and we need your support on that. It'll be brought in a little bit so you can check it out. But the other job I was voluntold to do is to be the preacher. Now, I do not have a degree in divinity. It was stated that I do have a lot of education, but I did tell Jane that I would stand in for the pastor, and so allow me to say a little prayer before the meal is served, okay? May we bow our heads. Dear God, thank you for allowing us to gather tonight, and may the food prepared nourish our bodies and souls. Amen. I'll be back in a few minutes as dinner will now be served. All right, all right, all right. I am so in love with you. Whatever you wanna do is all right with me, yeah. Just a little something, something. All right, I'm back. Hello, everyone. We having a good time with dinner? I was advised that we missed recognizing one of our friends, and so we don't want to leave our friends out. Is Dr. Wyatt in the room? All right, Dr. Wyatt, where you at? All right, please stand, Dr. Wyatt. Dr. Wyatt is the superintendent of Alexandria Public Schools. Thank you for joining us. And in case you weren't here at the beginning, I'm B.K. Fulton. I'm the most popular non-paid MC in the business. I now have the honor of leading our birthday salute. You should have flashlights at your table. If not, please use the flashlight on your phone. I'll give you a minute to get ready as we bring the cake out. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting something from Mission Control. Another tip, young people in the room, always listen to Mission Control. I'm told there is a special guest making a special appearance. Oh my God, it's Dr. Gladys West in the flesh. Wow. There she is. There she is. All right now. All right now. Thank you so much, Dr. West, for honoring us with your presence. Before we sing to you and present your cake, I'd like to ask Amy Jackson to come up, Vice Mayor of the City of Alexandria. She has a very special announcement. Amy, you in the room? There you are. Come on up.
Good evening. I'm Vice Mayor Amy Jackson of the City of Alexandria. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening. Dr. Gladys Brown West, happy birthday. I can't wait to celebrate you with a cake, but I'm so glad you're here joining us this evening. I've had the privilege of being on the advisory council since this inception of the National Center of Women's Innovations and working with Jane Plitt and the entire executive board. Please give them another round of applause for all they've done. And now, on behalf of the mayor and my colleagues on Alexandria City Council, I do have a proclamation to share with you this evening on this auspicious day. Whereas the National Center of Women's Innovations, NCWI, an Alexandria nonprofit founded by Jane R. Plitt, the first executive director of the National Organization for Women, NOW, in 1973, aims to showcase and promote the achievements of yesterday's, today's, and tomorrow's women innovators through education and inspire solutions for the future. And whereas October 27th, 2023 celebrates the inaugural launch of the organization and honors Dr. Gladys Brown West on her 93rd birthday. She is the creator of the mathematical mapping of the world, which enabled the creation of the Global Positioning System, GPS. That's right. And whereas Alexandria, Virginia affirms the importance of putting women on the map for their innovations and envisions a world in which women's inventions receive mainstream recognition and offer critical education to students, inventors, scholars, and businesses worldwide to build upon. And whereas our city and our region will continue to showcase and promote the achievements of yesterday's, today's, and tomorrow's women innovators through NCWI's high-tech educational platform and inspire STEM solutions for the future as we continue putting women on the map. All right. Now, therefore, I, Amy B. Jackson, on behalf of Justin M. Wilson, the mayor of the City of Alexandria, Virginia, and on behalf of the Alexandria City Council, do hereby recognize and celebrate October as the National Center of Women's Innovations Month. In the City of Alexandria, absolutely. In the City of Alexandria, and I call this observance to the attention of all our citizens, urging continued support of girls' and women's educational efforts, especially in the realms of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, to advance essential modernization and invaluable technological innovation for all. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Alexandria to be affixed this 27th day of October 2023. Justin M. Wilson, Mayor. Thank you very much. Congratulations. It's a privilege to celebrate with you.
Thank you so much, Amy. This is cool. See what you started, Dr. West? All right, so we've got a little bit more specialness before we get to singing happy birthday. I understand that President Danette Reed has something she wants to share. Our Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Bring it up. Yeah, all right, she's going to leave that here for Dr. West. She's got a special birthday present. All right, soror to soror. I see it. Well done, well done. Thank you for that. Y'all ain't got nothing for me. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. I ain't mad at you. Okay, all right. And even more surprises, Dr. West. So, you know, whatever you do, big or small, do it well or don't do it at all. So we went and told some members of Congress about your birthday. So we've got a few letters that I've been asked to read. The first one, well, I'll read who it's from after I read it. Dear Dr. West, I am honored to have the opportunity to wish you a joyous 93rd birthday and join the National Center of Women's Innovations in celebrating your accomplishments. The many individuals who care about your well-being at this time serve as a tribute to your exceptional character. Having lived through the Great Depression, World War II, the Civil Rights Movement, and so many other significant moments in our history means that you have important stories and recollections to share with younger generations. As you enjoy this evening's gala, I hope that you will take time to reflect upon your most cherished memories over birthday cake. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank you for your service to our nation. Your long career as a mathematician with the United States Navy led to tremendous advancements that continue to shape our understanding of the world today. All right, give it up. Without your calculations that made it possible to create a model of the exact shape of the Earth, the development of the GPS system would not have been possible. I commend you for your perseverance and for making the decision to pursue a career in public service. Congratulations on your many achievements and on reaching this milestone. Happy birthday, sincerely, Senator Mark Warner. That's one. Well, look at here, we got another one. October 27th, 2023. Dear friends, women throughout history, dating back to ancient times, have been leaders in science and technology. Why, then, are we just beginning to hear about their many contributions? A special thanks to the National Center of Women's Innovations founder and chairman Jane Plitt, along with her fabulous board, who are champions in their own professions for having the vision and willpower to inspire others and unearth the accomplishments of powerful women who've changed the course of history. I'm extremely pleased and honored to congratulate Dr. Gladys Brown West, who, like many women of her generation, used education as a foundation and determination as an impetus to create a map of the world which formed the framework for GPS. Dr. West, we literally would be lost today without you. Happy birthday. I look forward to many more opportunities where we can learn and appreciate the amazing stories of women who have done the unimaginable to create a better quality of life for all. Best wishes for a successful and enjoyable event. Sincerely, Senator Timothy M. Kaine. And that's not it. October 27, 2023, Dr. Gladys West. Dear Dr. West, it is with great pleasure that I wish you a happy 93rd birthday and congratulate you on reaching this milestone. On this remarkable day, I hope you enjoy a delightful celebration while reflecting on the experiences you have had over the years as one of our nation's hidden figures. I join in celebrating your birthday with pride and gratitude for everything you have done for the good of our nation with your role in the development of the Global Positioning System, GPS, and your 42 years of service to the National Support Facility Dahlgren, I am so pleased to add my voice to those of your family, your friends, and neighbors to share how appreciative we are for your trailblazing example. May the year ahead be filled with joy, health, and good spirits. I wish you the very best as you celebrate this wonderful birthday and continue your journey of life. Sincerely, Jennifer McClellan, Member of Congress. And Dr. West, she provided you with a medal, and I'll start to keep this, but I'm gonna give it to you, because I'm not supposed to do that. But this is just fantastic. I'm in awe. I'm not usually a fan, kind of go crazy, but I'll give it up to you, Dr. West. You did the thing. You did the thing. So now I'm going to ask the house to turn down the lights and everybody to turn on your flashlights or your phone lights. And Dr. Carolyn West Oglesby, who's the daughter of Dr. West, if you could help me to present the cake. Where's the cake at? Somebody need to roll out a cake kind of fast. But let's get the cake out here. This is history, everybody. She's turning 93 today. Oh, there's the cake right there. All right. Yes, just ahead of music. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gladys. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
All right, all right. Dr. West, in addition to the treats we've shared so far, there's a card, I think it's there on the table, and that's signed by the board, many of the guests here, and also the young women who travel from afar to be here with you. Girls for a Change, wave your hands in the back, come from Richmond, Virginia. And yes, and the Washington School for Girls out of our nation's capital. All right, there they go. All right. So you started a whole lot of stuff when you started mapping the earth. Now I have the pleasure of introducing a person who really needs no introduction. She's a friend. She's a leader in media. She's somebody we all know and love, and she and her husband are one of the most dynamic power couples in media, but they're also two of the most loving people I've ever met in my life. One of the things that that helps us to judge character is humility. People who deserve power usually don't want it. And so when they have it, they know that it is a responsibility to dispatch it with love, with strategy, with purpose, with intentionality. We all have agency, and we're all blessed to be who God made us to be. And the person that I'm about to introduce is both beautiful and brilliant. She is none other than Deborah Roberts, ABC co-anchor. Yes, give it up. ABC co-anchor of 2020 and esteemed national news correspondent. Let me tell you a little bit about this sister before she walks up here and graces us with her words of wisdom. In 1982, Deborah began her career at WTVM, a local television station in Columbus, Georgia. And then she moved on to work at WBIR, a local station in Knoxville, Tennessee. From 1987 to 1990, she served as the bureau chief NASA field reporter and weekend news co-anchor at WFTV, a local television station in Orlando, Florida. In 1990, she joined NBC News as a general assignment reporter and later served as a correspondent for Dateline NBC. She moved to ABC News in 1995 as a correspondent for 2020, as well as an anchor for World News Tonight Weekend and for Good Morning America. In July and September of 2006, she was a guest host of The View, a talk show produced by ABC Daytime. She's won an Emmy Award and a Clarion Award for her leadership in reporting. She has contributed to other network platforms, including Good Morning America, Primetime, Nightline, and The Katie Couric Show. Deborah also hosts Lifetime Live on Lifetime Television. In 2016, the nonfiction book, Been There, Done That, Family Wisdom for Modern Times, written by Deborah and her husband, Al Roker, was published. Deborah, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you, BK. Wow, I'm exhausted after hearing all that. Okay, let me just disclose right off the bat. I want a birthday party like this when I'm 93. Okay? I gotta wait a little while, but this is impetus for me to hang in there, stay healthy, and make it to 93, because this is quite a party, Dr. West. Wow, wow, wow. Happy birthday. I am so delighted to be here with you all tonight on this special occasion to celebrate the accomplishments of extraordinary women in the room, but particularly this woman. A woman who dared to dream, to inspire, and to change lives, cementing a legacy, even though you probably didn't even realize that's what you would be doing when you started this business. Women innovators are the architects of so much in our world, but rarely have they gotten the attention they deserve, as we all know. Well, tonight we're changing that, right? I am thrilled and humbled to join you tonight to help the National Center of Women's Innovation, NCWI, as you recognize and literally shine a light on trailblazers like this brilliant Dr. Gladys West, whom we literally would be lost without. I thought that was an original line. Somebody already used it, so. My husband thought it would be a good one. Like many of you, though, I never knew about this woman, and that a woman of color had helped deliver this technological innovation. How did we not know this? Well, every time you pull up your Google Maps now, you'd better think about Dr. West. As you said, you're calling yours Gladys. Hidden figure no more. Her family would probably say she was never a hidden figure, but she was only not known to us. But now we all know your story, and we are better for it. I had the honor of meeting Dr. West a little earlier this evening, and she was so excited, and she said, I'm so honored to be in this room and to be honored this way, and no, the honor is ours, all ours. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And we are so happy to give you your flowers now while you can enjoy them on your birthday. The great poet and philosopher Maya Angelou said, nothing will work unless you do. And that is the guiding force, I think, for so many women in this room. We just do. But we don't always necessarily own and recognize our own achievements and our power in this world, in spite of the fact that we make up half the population. A few facts that you should know. The highest IQ score ever recorded belongs to a woman. Right now, for the first time, 10% of Fortune 500 companies are run by women CEOs. 17% of tech companies have women at the top. A woman was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine just this month. For the first time, a woman is vice president of this country, and it's a woman of color. And a woman helped lay the groundwork for the COVID-19 vaccine. Oh, and those record-breaking 2 concerts of this year, those billion-dollar concerts, women. Renaissance and Eros. We are booked and busy, which might explain why, in a survey some time ago, when asked whether they'd rather have sex or chocolate, a lot of women wanted to know what kind of chocolate. We're busy. We're busy, and we need a treat. We are breaking barriers all the time. Sorry about that, girls. I hope you don't mind that back there, I'm sure. I'm sure you've heard far worse. But there is still work to be done, we know, if we want to realize our full potential. Women make up only 34% of the STEM workforce, which many of you here know, Black and Latino women at the bottom. And no surprise, women at tech startups on average earn about $20,000 a year less than their male counterparts. That has got to change if we want to close the gender gap in so many areas, especially in innovation. But even with those inequities, and I'm sure you faced a lot of them, Dr. West, women have been changing the world. Did you know that when you connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, yep, you should thank a woman. She was behind it. When you turn on your car heater, yep, there was a woman who was behind that to get you warm. When you set your alarm at the house, a woman helped do that for you. Caller ID, yep, a woman brought that to you. And if you ever had traveled to an exotic location and you had to have a malaria shot, maybe because you contracted the disease, a woman helped save your life. We are doing all of these things in our world without the recognition and without the parity. Just imagine if more girls saw women inventors. What that could mean to us. Well, they are seeing them now, and they are beginning to see them, but they need to see more of us. Throughout my life, I have always been inspired by determined women, strong visionaries, beginning with my own mom, who was a tough, stubborn, steel magnolia of a woman. Though she grew up under the oppression of segregation in the Deep South, she lost her mom when she was an infant, never graduated high school because she had to quit to help her family. Ruth Roberts had a strong will and a streak of fierce independence, which drove my dad crazy sometimes. It was instilled in her, though, by a tough, strong grandmother who, in the segregated South, had no choice but to be strong to make a way out of no way. Life was tough, but my mom learned that a woman could carry despair and determination in one hand. Even in the Jim Crow South, my mom, along with my father, managed to see light in that dark system, determined to see that their children had the dreams that they dared not have. And my mom, in particular, would later pass on to her 7 daughters, yep, 7 girls, including this one, 9 children in total, 2 boys, that we could turn challenges and disappointment into hope and bright expectations. She made it clear to us that women can and should do. Over the years, I have found inspiration from a number of women over my life, from some of them being very known and fierce and fabulous, and some of them not so well known at all. As many of you know, I wrote a new book recently, Mr. B.K. Fulton, called Lessons Learned and Cherished, The Teacher Who Changed My Life. And it's a collection of essays from some notable folks about the power of teachers to see things in us, to inspire us to dream and to reach. And I know dreaming is something that you talk a lot about. I spoke to men and women about their journeys, Spike Lee, Ken Cole, Brooke Shields, Misty Copeland, Al Roker. But it was the women who truly captivated me, just as they have always done. Beginning with my own 6th grade English teacher, who really was sort of the impetus for the book, Mrs. Dorothy Hardy. Often when I would give speeches, I would talk about Mrs. Hardy, and I would see people nodding their heads, thinking about their own teachers. Well, I met Mrs. Hardy just after school integration had happened in my small town in Georgia. I was assigned to her class and was immediately struck by this prim and proper woman who demanded excellence. She had white, crisply cut hair, red fingernails, a dress just so. She wore pantyhose even in 99-degree weather, as Southern women did. But she absolutely demanded excellence. Many kids feared Mrs. Hardy. I did too, I guess, on some level, but I was also enthralled by the high bar that she set. I'll never forget the time when she was handing back one of my essays, and she said to me kind of quietly in that thick, syrupy Southern drawl, "Deborah, you're a smart girl. You got a lot of potential to go far." Well, I had the audacity to believe her. Those few words lit a fire in this little black girl just emerging from segregation, a fire that began to burn brighter and brighter every year. This woman, for whom failure was not an option, left her mark on me like she did so many others, and just as other women have done for other women. Over the years, I'd find inspiration from women along the way in my career as I began to explore my career path. From my childhood, I was always fascinated by television news, and I remember watching, like so many of you as you were growing up, the evening news just before dinner or during dinner, and Walter Cronkite would tell us just that's the way it is on the evening news. But it was when I noticed women in front of the cameras that I sat up and I really took notice. Carol Simpson, Connie Chung, and then, of course, Barbara Walters, who was a game changer. Suddenly I began to think that maybe that's something I could do. I could see myself doing that. After college, I made my way through the ranks of local news, aiming, dreaming, even in the midst of discouragement, and aren't we all met with discouragement along the way, bias, and often fierce competition. But as that television icon Barbara Walters and my mentor has said once, sometimes you just hang in there and you outlast your detractors. Just hang in there. Dr. West, I'm sure you had to hang in there a lot throughout your career, even getting her PhD at age 70. 70, is that true? It's a mantra that women have had to employ in all walks of life, and I know that for trailblazing innovators or future innovators who are here in this room, there are moments where you are going to simply have to hang in there and believe that it is worth the fight. If Dr. West has taught us anything, it is that it is worth the fight, and we thank you for it. As that sage superstar songstress Beyonce has told us, who run the world? Thank you all so very much. Dr. West, happy birthday.
Don't go. No, not yet. Well, powerful words. Look, all right. Let her know. Look, Deborah flew all the way here from New York. She's got to go back and support her husband, who's got a new fantastic documentary is out, so she'll be flying back tomorrow, but she didn't want to miss this. When I reached out to her and asked her, she was at the top of our list, and she didn't hesitate, so thank you for that. And we've got a little token of our appreciation for you from NCWI. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, well done. Deborah Roberts, everybody. And I like that joke about the chocolate, but let me just say a little something for the men folk in the room. All right. And again, remember what I apologized earlier. So if I say something crazy, I was left unsupervised. But we loving on you, Dr. West, but I want to say something about your loving husband, Dr. Ira West, right here. They met at work, I think maybe the first day of work. Now, what she said to me when I talked to her was, I ain't had time for all of that, but apparently she made time, And he is the only chocolate she ever needed. I'm just saying. If you got it, you got it. All right. One more special presentation. And we want you to hear more of the story and experience Dr. West and the humble beginnings. Because one of the things that's really touching me about tonight, and I've had a chance to meet some of you all, and there are a lot of luminaries in the room, is that many of us, most of us, come from humble beginnings. And your start in life does not determine where you end up in life. God blesses all of us to turn our dreams and ideas into their tangible equivalents. But you must have the faith, be willing to do the work, and expect the outcomes. We all get to have the life we're willing to work for. What I want to show you right now as we dim the lights, and guys, you ready for me? We want to show the Dr. West video, but I want you to learn a little bit more about this amazing woman who's turning 93 today.
Growing up on the farm, we would get up early in the morning, take a break during the heat of the day, and then work back in the afternoon and work until dark.
Mom always said that she didn't like to be dirty, so she wanted to do something different.
I had been told that I was smart and I was very diligent and had all these kind of characteristics that if you used them, you could go far.
Her mom really saw that she could do more than just being on the farm, that she could go to college. So her mom encouraged her, and her teachers at school encouraged her.
The state was providing a scholarship for 4 years for students who were first and second in their high school graduating class. And I said, I think I can do that. And I got the first scholarship. I went to Virginia State University.
Virginia State University is a historically black university. It is the first historically black university in the state of Virginia.
We have some incredible alums who've graduated from Virginia State who've done some incredible things in STEM, but none more incredible than Dr. Gladys West.
She loved Virginia State. The second through the fourth year, she lived with a family, Dr. and Dr. Hunter. They were professors at Virginia State, and she learned so much from them. Dr. Louise Hunter is the one who got Mom into Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Alpha Kappa Alpha is the oldest black sorority in the United States. We are a service organization focused on scholarship, promoting black women.
When Mom joined in college, she didn't have any idea what Alpha Kappa Alpha really was, but as she was getting involved, she realized the sisterhood. When Mom finished college, she went and taught for 2 years, and then she decided to go back and get her master's. So she went back to Virginia State, and then she taught for a few months, but she was applying at Dahlgren.
And this offer came through and wanted me to come down for an interview. I mulled over that letter for a while.
Mom thought it was too much to try to get to Dahlgren for the interview and possibly not get the job, so she turned down the interview.
And I thought that was it, and I was very sad.
And Ralph Neiman, who was the recruiting person at the time, he reached out to Mom and offered her the job sight unseen.
Gladys came in '56. And by the 60s, you had a broader population of African Americans because of Ralph Neiman's commitment to hiring good people, especially in Ralph's department, the computational analysis lab on base. He, the department head, would look at the resume. He looked at her credentials, and the credentials sold them.
So Mom was the fourth African American hired at Dahlgren. My dad was the second. And they, of course, met on the job.
We were the beginning of integration for them, and we were treated decently. I was always enthusiastic about being there because I thought that this was an opportunity to be the best that I could be. And the fact that they had hired us, I thought that meant something, that they believed in us.
Both of my grandparents were adopted into a community that at that time still dealt with segregation and racism as accepted parts of culture. Where she focused her energy and effort was leading from the front and leading by example.
She just worked hard. She'd never worked on computers before, but Mom didn't let that deter her.
Dahlgren solves one problem: to get something from point A to point B accurately and on time. Air, weather, moving ships, adds all these additional variables that make it more complicated. Gladys was doing calculations utilizing the newest computer that Dahlgren had got, the Naval Ordnance Research Calculator, which at the time was considered a supercomputer. Today, it doesn't have as much computing power as your smartwatch.
I was hired to write the mathematical equations in computer language and check all of the physics. I would collect data from the satellites and then did solutions to find the exact positions.
The advantage of the new technology, satellites, gave us that way of measuring the parameters a lot more accurately. The calculations tend to start going more and more difficult as you get the data.
Many people don't realize that the Earth is actually not a perfect sphere, and that, if you think about it, it's rotating around an axis, which actually makes it squash a little bit. The only way to get really accurate measurements of where you are on the Earth's surface is to take into consideration the imperfections of the Earth.
From the mid-70s to the early 80s, there were several papers that Gladys put out that showed the evolution of the equations from where they were. As she got more data, she would improve, and all that work went into the combined efforts that we know today as GPS.
And ultimately, all of GPS today has, rather than sort of multimeter accuracy, is really down to centimeter accuracy as a consequence of her work.
She continued to work on the base, continued to focus on her work, continued to move up through the ranks in the base, to where she eventually became that program manager that oversaw the CSAT efforts, as well as follow-on efforts in enhancing the base's ability to do its work.
So I will tell you, Mom did not realize the magnitude of her work. She was just working to do her job. In 2018, when it came to light, her contributions, she was as shocked as everyone else.
Dr. West really is not an anomaly. There are a lot of women and a lot of women of color that did amazing work and never received recognition for it.
There are a lot of hidden figures, as we call them, in the Black community who have contributed a lot to the building blocks of America, to technology, to the modern world as we know it today, who have not been recognized simply because they were Black or female or both.
At a sorority meeting, I said to her, Soror Gladys, I'm just amazed by your story. How is it that no one knows what you've done in your career? And she said, I don't know. And I said to her, would you mind if I tried to get your story out there? And she said, do you think people will be interested? I said, Soror Gladys, I think they would be amazed.
Soror Gwen James said she wanted to take it to the Freelance Star. Listening to that interview was the first time, honestly, that I knew what my parents did, more about their life than we ever really knew.
And once the story was published, it literally went viral almost like the next day.
I can't think of a single industry that isn't affected by GPS and enabled by Dr. West.
Trying to have something that's steering you through streets, for example, just couldn't be done.
I use my GPS maps every day. My sense of direction is absolutely horrible. And so without Gladys West, I wouldn't get anywhere. And I think that's true for so many of us.
Without representation and without us being able to see other folks who look like us, then we don't have any examples to model ourselves after. We don't have any means to continue to dream.
I think that she's just an ordinary person who had dreams and kept working hard to get there. I often tell the story that about 10 years before 2018, my husband and I gave my parents a GPS. Now, she resisted it because she loved to use maps.
Think about a woman that was born in 1930 at a time when no one really thought of African Americans as being contributors and also women as being contributors. For someone to have had such a stellar career, I want her to be an inspiration to young people today, because there's a lot of Gladys Wests out there that we have yet to discover. The National Center for Women's Innovations is going to celebrate Dr. West and many other women who've made major contributions to technology.
Dr. Gladys West is the prototype of everything that the National Center of Women's Innovation believes in. The challenge is, how do we continue to keep Dr. West in the forefront?
Grandma didn't set out to go make GPS. She did it because it was her job and she wanted to be the best worker to get that job done. For me, that's what makes this even more awesome, was she was just checking the box to make sure that she got her job done, not trying to change the world, and she ended up changing the world.
That's right. Wow. Wow. That is absolutely beautiful. Woo. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. West. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome. As she rolls out, don't forget that you can help us to put her on the map by texting to give. There's the QR code at your table. People have already been donating. We appreciate it. Dr. Alyssa Harrison and Ms. Faduma Hussein are in the audience. Wave your hands, ladies. If you need some help with the text to give, they can help you. But it's just so special to be in the presence of this kind of greatness, and being the best, showing up every day and doing what you're to do is how she got there. I feel like we've turned this thing into a celebration, so we will continue. I've got to bring a few more colleagues up, but before I do that, I've been asked to let people know, if you love the flower arrangements at your table, you can feel free to take them. And the way we figured out to do this fairly is that if you have, whoever has a birthday closest to Dr. West's birthday, you get first dibs, and then you just work on down the line. All right, so I'm gonna leave it to all y'all to be the best you can be and manage the flower distribution. Now, don't get no fights over this. Now, Gladys, Dr. West wouldn't approve of that. What I'd like to do now is bring forward Jane Plitt, Teresa Peterson, and Pat Moore to the stage. Yeah, I think it's kind of, let's keep going.
Okay, folks, are we psyched or are we psyched? Is this extraordinary? As dessert will be served, and we continue to share the celebration of Dr. West's 93rd birthday, which is why we had to pull this event off tonight. There was no choice. I want to give thanks to our extraordinary co-chairs of this gala, Pat Moore from Boeing and Teresa Peterson from the GE, and clearly from Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so I have bouquets for each of them, but it doesn't capture our deep appreciation. I mean, can you imagine that each of these busy executives and committed individuals are willing to say, we're there for the National Center of Women's Innovation. And thank you, Boeing, thank you, GE, for sharing, and thank you, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, for sharing the leadership and the skill of each of these individuals. As dessert is served and we celebrate Dr. Gladys West, I need to reiterate what I said in that video. It goes beyond tonight. If we are to keep the whole purpose of what NCWI is all about, we need to have ongoing educational opportunities to put her on the map. So I ask you to take a moment, pull out your card, text to give $5, give $5,000. We'll take it all because together we need your support in order to transform this from just a one-night event into an ongoing, inspirational event for our world and for the young girls that await to learn that they too could be Dr. Gladys West. Thank you for coming. We have a big celebration. We have dancing and entertainment to do, and let us celebrate. Thank you.
All right, y'all get ready to get me going up here. Thank you very much. To close the night out, We've invited Blue Nefu Ensemble to get your feet moving and your heart leaping for joy. We invite all who are willing and able to hit the dance floor. If you have to go, please turn on your Gladys positioning system and you'll be sure to find your way home thanks to Dr. Gladys West. My name is B.K. Fulton. It's been an honor to serve as your MC, NCWI, and I thank you for a great night. That's all, folks. Blue Nephew, set it off.